showing here, but I just left my place in Victorville, California, and I'm going to stop at the Pilot and the Little Sisters truck wash here in Hesperia. Get my trailer washed out and then get fuel for both my tractor and my reefer. And I'll be heading up to Lemoore for loaded, I'm assuming, cheese. Side was green when I started. What the hell? I'm also working on still working on the comparison video between the phone and the dash cam to show you how contrasting they are. They both have their pros and cons, and I plan to show you them when I get through with it. I have the basic video set up for, you know, the comparison screens, but I need to put in the narrative stuff in there too, and may put a couple of little things in there. I don't know. It's get up here on the road first. Gotta watch this traffic behind me. Try to, dude, move over, damn it! You got a fucking lane next to you. Instead of slowing down, you could have freaking moved over in between in the gap between this white car. God, why are people so dumb? Oh my God, there's a truck coming. I have no idea. There's a fucking gap in the lane next to me. Pay attention. If you can't be alert to what's going on around you, then get the hell off the road. I even pointed to suggest to them that, hey, you can move over to the other lane that's open. It was wide open. I sat there and watched it the whole time. And even though there was traffic here, there was room between the car that was getting ready to pass and the next one back. There was plenty of space for them to get in. Window down like that, the wind coming in, and just in case you can't hear so well. Yeah, so now I'll be going to Lemoore to pick this load up from Leprino Foods, and I'll be taking it to Edmond, Oklahoma, which is right by Oklahoma City. It's not due till the 23rd, so I have plenty of time on it. Hoping maybe I could drop it in our maybe in our Oklahoma City drop yard and get some kind of reload from there, if all goes well. And also, another nice thing about this one is I can run the dead end mile straight from my house, go pick up the load, and then getting back to my place again. It's almost 500-mile drive, so just the right amount for a full shift. I mean, for a decent shift here in California. And you know, it's nice being able to do a 10-hour break or an in-sum at my house, and then go pick up a load and do another 10-hour break at my house before getting out going out of state, whatever. It's one of the reasons I freaking love driving for these guys. May not be perfect for everybody's needs, but they're great for mine. there's too much other traffic here, and this specific truck is probably going to slow out, keep it bogged down in the middle lane a little bit, so I'll probably just camp out here and just deal with it. I've only got one more exit to go before I get to where I mean, not this exit, but the phone line one. This is where the truck wash and the trucks and the pilot are at, so probably get the truck wash first, the trailer wash down, first, and then come back over to pilot, get my fuel, and then start heading up 395 to Highway 58, which is also known as Kramer Junction. Or Kramer Junction being where Highway 395 and Highway 58 meet up, I should say. Now this is nice. There's a white Dodge Neon or something, whatever it was, that just got in line behind me. Obviously they're getting off here at Main Street. It's nice to see it. They actually dropped in behind me instead of trying to get past me to cut me off and get off the freeway in front of me. I wish more people would do that.
Hey Rick, you got your ears on?
Build up at least a little more speed. I don't want to be doing 45 to 50. Not if I don't absolutely need to. Yeah, this guy's glued to 50 right now. So there's too much traffic in the other lane. It's not worth even trying to get around him. It's another reason why I can't stand the 55-mile-an-hour truck limit here. I'm pulling an empty trailer, so I could easily accelerate to whatever speed all the way up to 70 if I really wanted to and legally could. I can do it anyway, but I don't tend to really speed. Now, I might make an exception here on 395 though, because I don't like having a bunch of traffic on a 2-lane road following me and being in a position where they're going to make dangerous passing attempts. And put themselves, myself, and other people at risk of a head-on collision. So, if I have traffic following me on 395, more often than not, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my speed and, even go like 65 up there. And then if I have no one behind me, I throttle back to, that 55 to 60 range where I normally like to run. I'm perfectly fine with running whatever the speed limit is. It doesn't bother me. A lot of people can't handle it, but it sucks. But at the same time, it's not worth getting that stupid ticket either. All right, come on, dude. Come on. He's gonna wait. I saw him, but he wanted to wait, so. How can you not like the view, the color, the richness of the color from the phone here? I'm looking right at that sunset. It's wonderful. Light's yellow, but we'll see what these guys do. All right. I knew the light was yellow, but I had to double check, make sure those guys were actually going to check up and not run the red. Yeah, as usual, there's always a line here at this pilot to get fuel. Actually, it doesn't look too bad right now, so I'm I might go ahead and get the fuel first. Just because of that. Plus I get my, I can also get my drink filled and not have to worry about whether it's going to get crowded here in the fuel island when I get out of the truck wash. So, man, when I don't see anybody too deep there. It's all one deep, so it's just a matter of waiting for one truck at a time, whichever one truck to pull out. I think this guy right here, is he getting rid of? Yeah. I think the guy in the red Peterbilt with the white and red reefer trailer, you know, and the one next to the hot shot. I don't know, maybe not. Damn it. He was climbing into his truck for a second, but then he came back out. I'll just sit here until I know who's going to leave first. Looks like FedEx might be leaving. I tend to not like getting behind the LTL guys though, because a lot of times they can't just park anywhere because they can't back their trailers up, you know, when they're pulling doubles. And you know, a lot of times it's more, it makes more sense for them to do the 30s in the fuel island if at all possible. And so I tend to let them go about their business first. Then what are you doing, dude? This guy's using the freaking squeegee to clean. Can't tell if it's his catwalk or something else down there underneath his trailer, like over by his drive tires. Will go off duty since I'm not going to burn my damn on duty or driving time sitting here watching people. Alright, I need to set up my fuel, so I'm going to stop the video for a second. Alright, done getting fuel. Time to head over that block away, go get my trailer washed out, and then get out of here. It didn't look like there was anybody in line over there, so it shouldn't take me too long. It's just a matter of how quickly they get me in and start working me, because sometimes they do take a little bit of time, even when there's nobody there. Pickup is doing first. All right. I'm a little too slow to get. It's a little too slow to get into drop into fifth gear, and by then I couldn't get in, and I had to sit there and wait for my clutch brake to work before I could. Or had to come to a complete stop, and then wait for my clutch brake to completely stop my clutch, or well, stop my transmission, or whatever, and then I was able to get moving, get into gear and get moving. Washout line right here. Looks like it's open, so I'll go ahead and come in here since it's open anyway. Probably have to wait. Oh, there's somebody actually right here. Washout is complete. We're going to get moving. About 8:20 local time. Should take about 4 hours to get there, so should be there around 12:20-ish, 12:30, whatever, somewhere in that ballpark. 12:30 or 00:30 military time, and my pickup time is 1:30 a.m. I don't know if it's a drop and hook or a live. I've done both there, so I don't want to assume either. So what I'll probably do is call them up when call them up at some point in time to double check whether I need to have my reefer pretty cold before I get there, just in case. If it's dropping hook, it'll be pretty easy. I can just stop, go there real quick, do my drop, grab my other load, get out of there, and then scale it, do a 30 somewhere, and then run back over this way. I could have gone the other way too, but let's go ahead and use the light over here by Pilot. So I'm going to be going up 395. Not a fan of taking 395 up through Victorville and Adelanto, to be honest with you. I normally, if I'm coming from my house, I'm more apt to go up National Charles Highway over to Air Expressway and then go up Air Expressway to 395 and basically avoid the majority of Victorville and Atlanta. This place gets crowded. I'm not sure there's ever a point where you can't find anywhere to park here. Even if you can't find parking in the parking lot, the Pilot parking lot, it's still highly likely you can find parking either across the street, up front, or several other places right here along the street or elsewhere. See, pretty good the number of trucks over here though, so. Pretty good amount of activity, I guess. People either picking up or delivering it tomorrow morning. I'm gonna end up going pretty close to a part of Victorville I used to live in. Up here at 395 at Bear Valley Road, I used to live just about a mile away from. Southbound traffic. But a lot of it's people coming home from their weekend excursions too. Since it is Sunday night. Now right here, I'm not going to use that right lane just because of the fact that I know the lane ends here, and it's too difficult to get back over because four-wheelers won't let me over, and not to mention, man, it's just inherently dangerous for a truck to be involved in lane changes that aren't absolutely necessary. So we'll stay here, and then if someone else comes around, then it's their problem. It becomes their responsibility to merge safely with me instead of mine to merge with them. We do have a couple of four-wheelers coming up. Got another truck behind me. Same idea. Tried to get my windows good and clean, but the squeegees there at Pilot sucked. Okay, I got 3 four-wheelers to the right, truck behind me, and I got more four-wheelers coming up. Looks like they're all moving right. You're going to find that not too many of them are going to be able to get around me. And I don't think as many as there are going over there. Especially when I'm empty. Oh, it's got about 6 of them by. Better than I expected. Can't fault them. Because I don't have any idea if I'm loaded or empty, or what speed I'm going to run. to be widening all this area here, though, so, which is badly needed too. The traffic's been heavy here for a long time, and it's coming up toward Adelanto, it's just light after light after light. That's another reason why I don't like coming through here. And a lot of times I'm pressure sensitive, so and on time, so truck comes through here, speed limit's 55, but in reality, if you're in a truck, you're better off doing 50 or so as you're approaching these lights, because otherwise you're either going to end up running the red lights, or you have to brake really hard to not run the red. So I find it works better to just stay on the to stay around 50 as I'm going through these lights. As long as I'm in a 55 zone at least. See, this light up here already changed a couple times in just the time I've been looking at it. Come on, light. There you go. Like to be able to just roll right through. Fewer gear changes, better on the fuel economy, and it's not as hard to get to keep my speed up if I can anticipate and roll into it. I used to live just north of this road here, just over here to the right. This neighborhood here called Eagle Ranch. That's where I lived when I first moved back up this way from the San Bernardino area. Finding out the hard way, because I play the piano, and I have a portable digital grand piano, whatever you want to call it. It's a Yamaha. Apparently while I was out on the road, someone in the house mishandled it and I think dropped it. Not only damaged the side of it, but also internally it feels like something broke, because a bunch of my keys are difficult to operate, and some of them don't go down at all. Not happy at all about it. It's not a cheap. It's not a cheap keyboard. It's a nice 88 key keyboard. It's not the highest end keyboard in the world, but I don't need it to be. But it still costs a good, I think about $800. Needless to say, I'm not happy at all about that. figure is I have a tendency to play a lot of, on the piano, I tend to play a lot of Beethoven sonatas, particularly. Sometimes I delve into like contemporary music, but not a lot. I do have some contemporary songs that play, but I tend to favor the sonatas more. They're just, I don't know, just a little more of a challenge to play, I guess. I always like a good challenge, so. Like my favorite I like to play is Sonata Number 1. Actually, if you know anything about Beethoven, particularly the first and the fourth movements, I'm especially fond of playing. Particularly the fourth one. It's a fast-paced one, and it takes some energy to play it too, and it's very upbeat and it gets me moving. I also play other well-known sonatas like Pathetique Sonata. Well, really basically the second movement of I forget which opus it was. I want to say like 46 or something, but could be wrong. Moonlight Sonata, that's another one I play sometimes. Few Release. Few Release, most of the time I can play from completely from start to finish from memory, without looking at any kind of sheet music. And when I get good practice in, I can do Sonata Number 1, the first and fourth movements without looking either. First movement, not quite so difficult to learn. It's a lot more of the theme and variations that are standard of first movements of sonatas, but fourth movement, it's an upbeat one. It's a little more difficult one to play too, and someday I'll get some more practice in and get my playing quality on that back up to where it used to be, and maybe I'll post that at some point in time. Drive. Fucking LTL traffic is gonna get by me, doesn't he? The LTL truck moved over to the right, thinking he's gonna. He doesn't. I don't think he knows I'm empty though. Didn't care too much if the car went around me, but didn't want whoever that LTL truck was coming around and becoming a problem, driving like an asshole. Landings or what driving that. See this freaking idiot, I can see that he's gaining on me, and either he wants to be an asshole or he's not paying any attention. He only cares about himself. That's the kind of guy I just feel like slowing down and being an asshole back to him just to piss him off. It's the reason why I'm not driving that faster here right now. I'm trying to maintain space between myself and the cars in front of me, not to mention I want to be ready for the lights to change. I'd rather catch fresh greens than fresh reds. Well, whoever this guy is behind me, probably not smart enough to figure that out. Let's see this light up here. I bet you it's going to turn red before I get anywhere near it. Not to mention we're in a construction zone. The lighting project right here is a big work. You see a car coming up from the right? I know it's a cue that that light's going to change. Get through here and the light turns. It's not that I really want to be doing 50, 52 miles an hour or whatever I'm doing, but I need to be ready for these lights. I don't want to be slamming down my brakes just to stop or be running red lights and getting bullshit tickets that I don't need to be getting. Or, of course, putting other people at risk by doing that, too. Usually right over here by Air Expressway is where I get on the 395 from, which is, I think this is it right here. All those lights that I just went through, I would have missed. I only, if I would have gone through Air Express, there would have been like 2 or 3 lights to deal with that were all more lightly traveled. Not as likely to change, to turn red on me, and not as many of them to deal with either. I need to be ready. See a car waiting at the light. Won't take much at all for that light to turn red on me. Now it's a freaking LTL truck, and it's Esty's truck. He's trying hard to go by me. Getting out of the Atlanta area. It'll be rural most of the way the rest of the way to Kramer Junction. So put a little bit bit in you for Kramer Junction too. I mean, there won't be much to see between here and there unless there's something I don't want to see or have to show, but we'll see.
Searching for you, running round in circles all the time. I can't find you, guess I'll have to keep on running yet another mile.
guys, I'm getting off on Highway 41 northbound now. Lemoore Foods is run off the very first exit here. I also called them up earlier to find out if my load's a drop and hook or live load. I needed to know if I need to pre-cool my trailer, and with luck I found out it's I get to do a turn and burn, which is trucker talk for drop and hook. So, and in fact they said my load's already ready, so yeah, we get in there and just have to go through the process of giving them my paperwork, get the bills from them, and won't have to take very long at all to get out of there. I have just under 3 hours left on my clock. 2:47. And it's right at 12:30, just as I expected. Milk trucks here. I don't see any reefer trucks camping out. What the hell did they do to this place? At 34,750. Alright, so my arrival call. Oh, we've made it to Lemoore. Send my arrival call and then go check in over here at the guard shack and go on duty. Arrive at shipper. I'm on 0032 5800. Alright. Alright, we'll go check in and be right back. Alright. This is a quick, easy check-in process here. may or may not already be familiar with this, but yeah, all I gotta do is get this this form from the guard shack, and that's it. And then I fill it out, and then take it upstairs with me when I get over to the shipping. Or get over by the shipping office. So I can get right out the video stabilization feature on my phone because it tends to off track from center. I don't know if you notice where, like when I make turns, before it would have a tendency to kind of try to go straight still, even though I'm in a left or right turn, or even when I'm just doing selfie mode and just showing myself. You can see where it kind of jumps back and forth a little bit at times, even though it's sitting still. So I turned that feature off, and glancing a few times, it looks like actually it might be more stable the way it is now with the feature turned off. Man, these guys are packed. They got a lot of trailers here right now. A lot of milk trucks in the area too. That's to disconnect from my trailer yet until I already know what's going on. I already know this is going to be a dropping hook, but I'll probably I still want to check in with them first and double check where they want where they want me to drop it. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna slide my tandems back right now and go drop my empty here in the back lot, and then my loaded is right over here to my left. I'll have to put a load lock in and have them take they take pictures to make sure that to document proof that it's got a load lock. Then they'll seal it after that. Come on. Why am I tandems still sliding? To release them and release the pins the first time. There we go. Maybe I didn't release the brakes long enough to allow them to re-engage. Alright. Now we can go drop the trailer. At night here right now. Yeah, definitely a little busy here. They got a lot of rail cars here also, and plenty of reefer trailers and plenty of milk trucks all here. These guys seem to be doing really well right now. by this other JCT trailer. Alright, 2 spots past. We'll actually go a little more because my tandems are, I mean, because my trailer is not lined up right. Concrete pad here to put the landing gear in, so, or on top of, so I've got to double check that. Alright, disconnected from this trailer and go head back around and hook up to the other one. Fun trying to get that landing gear off. That thing's parked pretty close to the other trailer. Of course, the other alternative, if I have difficulty, would be to pick up the other trailer, move it to the other side of this one. I didn't feel enough pressure from that trailer on my fifth wheel, so I'm gonna raise my landing gear some right now. I'm ready to roll here. Gotta check out with the guard shack and then and also scale my load on the way out and ready to move. me a little curious to know what's going on with that guy's truck or trailer. It seems like there's something wrong with this trailer. Checked out of here, so I don't know that I'll be able to reach Bakersville before I run out of time and need to take my 30-minute break. I saw plenty of spots open over there at that Flying J in Bakersfield, so I'm kind of eyeballing that. If I can get there, but if not, no big deal. Concerned that I was overweight on my on something at first, but apparently my weights were okay. So, or at least my gross was. I'll still have to scale it on the way out. I mean, on the maybe in Tulare or somewhere. Probably scale it in Tulare. I'm gonna refill my drink anyway, and then if I can get a little further, great. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop in Tulare for my 30 and a nap. Out between midnight and 5 is violating the rules of stupid, as a favorite YouTube page I watch like to say. Or it's one of the 5 rules of stupid. Don't be out after in between midnight and 5 a.m. Most of the time people are out at that hour, they're looking for trouble or they're going to be in trouble.
tasty and sweet and young. You see in the week, you got the teeth of the hydra upon you. You're dirty, sweet, and you're my girl. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Well, you built like a car, you get a hubcap, diamond star halo. You built like a truck on land. Well, you're an untamed youth, that's the truth. With a cloak full of egos, you dirty sweet and you my girl. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on.
My 30-minute break here also, or a little bit longer than a 30. Take a nap. Oh, Flying J has Wendy's. Maybe I'll use that one instead. So I can always go for a Frosty. I like Wendy's more than McDonald's. If I'm gonna eat anything, I'd take it and get anything. Yeah, I forgot about the fact that this one has a Wendy's. There's one spot open. There's two. There's three. 4, 5. So yeah, definitely won't be any problems finding a place to park. JCT trucks here. There's like a whole row. You know, that's reserved parking. That's why. Very nicely balanced load. 32.8 on the drives and 32.2 on the tandems. Go park, do my break, and since I'm down to an hour and 7 left on my 8-hour clock, so can't get past Bakersfield. Clear with the angle that I have on the tractor, but I'm going to have a problem with this truck on the other side, so yeah, myself reset. my back is going to be just fine, but sometimes the setup's going to be a little off and it never hurts to roll. To my right is the problem now. Freightliner right here on my right side is my biggest concern. Out so damn far. I'm trying to not get my angle or my trigger angling too much towards the other truck, or the guy on my blind side. Just got to square up with the trailer the way I need it. Very good. No shame at all in goaling. There is shame in hitting somebody needlessly. There were still times I was a little concerned about that guy, and I don't think this would have been such a difficult backing if it weren't for that blue truck over there across the way with its, with those lights on, sticking out in the lane so far. Not to mention this guy here next to me, him being a long nose, I was concerned about cutting in too soon on him because he sticks out a pretty good amount too. Alright, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take my 30 and a little bit of a nap or something and get rolling here. I'm like I say, my weights are good. I'll finish driving back to my house and do my 10-hour break at my house again. Before heading out of town, out of state. So, alright, we'll continue on later. Alright, guys, ended up getting a good couple hours here. I'm ready to get moving again. Should be about a 3.5 or so hour drive from here to my place. Yeah, it should be in that ballpark. About an hour from here to Highway 58, and another two and a half ish, whatever, from 58, the 58 99 interchange to my place. So, all Alright, we'll get moving. Opening, then find out there's a truck coming. Can't see around these trucks over here parked along the curb. Oh, come on. Now we're clear.
clouds, it always finds its way through. Even in the darkest
and call the police.
The most practical way home to my place is get over there. Yeah. You got some problems with your brakes locking up, dude. Anyway, the most practical route to my house is via Palmdale Road or Highway 18 over to I-15, and then up to the very next exit, which is Nisqually Road on the southbound side of I-15. But I don't tend to like going that way because there are more traffic lights to deal with. I find Palmdale Road to be very annoying to deal with, so I'm coming this way, and I'm going home from this direction. I usually, again, I'll take Air Expressway down, and I'll get back on I-15 off of National Trails Highway, or what used to be basically what the old it's called the old Route 66, or the D Street exit in Victorville. But anyway, that's where I normally go. There is a truck route I can actually take, 18, which is right there where D Street is. Because 18 runs into there. Basically, Palmdale Road runs into D Street. I could go down that way and make a right onto Hesperia Road, and that's a truck route, but the right turn onto Hesperia Road is very difficult to make. It's a tight turn, so I just don't like to deal with it. If there's no traffic around, I'm willing to do it, but if there's traffic around there, I'll stay away from that area, because you can't possibly make that turn without using more than 2 lanes of travel on the street you're already coming from, and you gotta hope there's nobody in the left turn lane on Hesperia Road coming on to D Street. So it's just not worth the hassle trying to make that turn to me. I just find it a lot easier and safer to just get on I-15 and take the Nisqually Road exit, and then deal with the lights down there, which I have to deal with anyway. So this is Air Expressway, or as you see on the sign here, Airbase Road. But if you look on you saw the sign on now Airbase Road is only for to the west of us, which is to my right. If you go in the opposite direction, the way I'm actually turning, it's actually called Air Expressway. For those of you in the Air Force or with Air Force backgrounds, that's Yeah, this is actually where George Air Force Base used to be. I'm going right past what used to be George Air Force Base property. Lights here to deal with, but less traffic and less likelihood for the lights to be red, or even if they do turn red, it's less likely to be red for very long. So this one here looks like we're kind of fresh, and no problem here. This light here is nothing at all in the area to be a problem. There are some shippers over here. That's going to be warehouses, whatever. Like this plant right here on the left side coming up. It's a M&M Mars facility. Never been there with JCT, but I have been there a couple times with when I was with England. Now, this is now known as this area here is called Southern Cal Logistics Airport. And this is the airfield here is what used to be George Air Force Base's runway and aerodrome, as we call it. Here on the right side is a federal prison. Definitely notorious people spend time here. I don't recall who's all been here before, but I remember hearing that my mom was telling me a story about how there was a Russian spy or something. Because my mom used to be a nurse. She's retired. She worked in the operating room, and I guess one of her patients that she had a while back was a Russian spy who was in lockup here at this prison. All I know about the situation, though, I don't know what the individual was being treated for or whatever else. Never got his name either. It's, of course, HIPAA. She's got HIPAA guidelines that she was required to adhere to, so she couldn't really tell me any real details. Here, just to my left, is what used to be the main gate to get onto George Air Force Base. And then the base housing's right here to right on to the right of the main gate. The houses are really run down now. They got this fencing up now, and I'm not a construction expert, but I do from my understanding, the color of fencing that's erected tells what kind of work is being done or something, from my understanding. Like sometimes the fencing is orange, sometimes it's green, and sometimes it's I think black or something. I don't know, I never worked in construction, but I thought I remember hearing or reading somewhere that each of those colors is used for specific reasons. demolished the old base housing there because all of the buildings are just in bad shape. Now this light here is usually the one that is most notorious for turning red on me, I think. Sometimes over there by where the federal prison entrance is, and sometimes where the warehouses are, but this one I just passed is the one that I always find most likely to be red, if anything at all. That's the last of the lights on Air Expressway until the one at the very end of the road where Air Expressway tees into National Trails Highway. Getting a little bit of a heads up on where I park when I'm home. If you look up Americold in Victorville, or also Church and Dwight, they both have facilities right there in that same complex where I park. I just park along the street right there down in the industrial area where it's nothing but trucks parking there. And the only people, it's a dead end area, so the only people who are driving in the area also are the only people who drive in the area are people who work at the warehouses. Okay, now we're on National Trails Highway. We won't be on it very long, only maybe 2 or 3 miles. Don't be getting on southbound side of I-15. I say if I would prefer to go all the way, just stay on National Trails and D Street. Actually, National Trails Highway turns into D Street. I would normally like to stay basically on D Street and make the right turn on the Hesperia Road, but like I mentioned earlier, that turn is very difficult. The turn on the Hesperia Road is very difficult to make in a truck if there's other traffic around, so it's, I'm just not even going to take my chance on it, especially this hour. If it was in the middle of the night, maybe, but or late evening, whatever, there's not so much traffic, but more going on here, no, I'll stay away from there. I'll take the few extra minutes to go around, take the safe route. I'm down to 103 left on my clock. It should be my 14-hour clock that's running down. I should have more time than that on my drive clock, but because of that nap I took and the stops I made, both here in Hesperia for washout and fuel, and then also for the nap, and for actually time spent picking up my load. Here's the I-15 on-ramp. This is easier to handle now because there's extra lanes, but being 76,000 plus pounds right now, it's going to be a grind trying to get up this hill. sure the two four-wheelers that are behind me must love climbing this hill at such a slow speed. And I got 5 of them. So, yeah. All the left turn traffic from D Street's now behind me also. Up to 33 miles an hour, slowly gaining. 34. 35. 36. Got a truck pulling I don't know what you call those, grading tractors, or earth movers. I don't know what the hell you call those things. I see them all the time, but I know they're for leveling ground for construction zones, or when they're building roads or properties and stuff. But I just always forget what they're called. Let's see if I can get over, because this lane here is ending, and this guy's gonna have to deal with it, because I'm not interested in getting forced off the freeway at Mojave Drive. And the guy moved back over to the right, and dumbass, you getting off the freeway? If so. Yeah. I don't know why he moved over to get around me in the first place then. Unless he thought he could get around me and then get right back in front of me to get off the freeway. Anyone in that area should know, should have common sense to know that when trucks get on the freeway there at D Street going southbound, it's highly unlikely they're going to get off the freeway at Mojave, and you should expect that they're going to want to move over to get into to get out of the exit lane. So if you have enough common sense, you know that you can expect a truck to do that, then you can anticipate them doing it before they even do it. And be prepared for them to do it, and give them the space early, and not be a problem. Any kind of traffic conflict is a safety hazard. That's another way I used to go right here is Palmdale Road, but there's a street right across the freeway from here that I used to use that was a truck route in the past, but they removed it from the list of designated truck routes in town, so I don't go that way anymore, because I'm not really supposed to be going that way anymore. Damn it, I can't do anything because there's a white minivan next to me. I can't. Not to mention my exit's coming up. I really don't want to move over. It's another challenge that we have with driving trucks, and on the right lane, you have this on-ramp traffic, and we get in these no-win situations. There is no actual, no good safe option to take. It's just which one is less dangerous, or which one is the most likely to go in our favor if an accident does happen. Usually staying in our lane is the safe way to go, because if we're in our lane and you come into our lane and have an incident with us, it's going to be your fault. And we might have to deal with was it avoidable or unavoidable problem. Because at fault or not, truckers never want to have avoidable accidents. We're held to a higher standard than the general motoring public, and it's not good for our CDL records if we have accidents that could have been avoided, even if it was the other person's fault. Alright, now this one can be a little fun too. The traffic. Random people, guys on base stations here like to chit chat, whatever, on the radio. Anyway, yeah, this left turn, because I need to make a left here and then an immediate left right afterward. And if there's traffic behind me, I have to worry about letting them go by first before I can get into the left lane. Now, we're supposed to always be in the outer turn lane, so that's why I'm over here. I got, there we go. I only have that one four-wheeler to worry about this time, but a lot of times I have to, I can either take my turn a lot more slowly and give the traffic time to get around me before I actually get into a position where I really absolutely have to be making my turn in my lane change. Or in other case, if the traffic's heavy enough, which it almost never is there, I'll usually just own both lanes. Where I'll straddle both lanes, or straddle the line between the lanes, so I own both lanes basically, and just stay on the inside. And then, of course, I need to make a wide turn, even on the left turn there. Circle K here. They just opened it up a couple of weeks ago. Some noise here. It sounded like I had an air leak, like a pressure, like some kind of air leak, but I think it's just squeaking from the mechanisms for my chair. I mean, it's held up by air pressure, but it's there's still a mechanism part of it. All I do is just take this Wally Road here, which is the one I'm on, all the way down to the end, and I'll end up in the industrial complex at the very end of the road. Anywhere in that area is where I'll park. Now since my wife's at work right now, I'll have to either Uber or walk home. It's only a mile away from my house where I park, or about a mile, so And I don't mind a little exercise. I don't plan on taking much out of the truck with me anyway, so I may just elect to go park over closer to Maricold and walk myself home. A little exercise doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, it'd be a good thing for me, so how can I complain about that? There's several lights to deal with, but it's a necessary evil. If I were to take the Hesperia Road route there, I don't know, it'd be probably similar number of lights but shorter distance, and there'd be I think one or two stop signs also. I don't remember if it's one or two. I know there's at least one. I can't remember, there might be a second, but I only ever go that way in my personal vehicle. Alright, 2nd Street, actually is the one I live right off of, so yeah, and I have to be in this lane here to go straight ahead past the Hesperia Road. So by the time I get over here between 2nd and 1st Street, it's usually when I'm moving over to the into this lane so I can be where I need to be. So when we get up there to Hesperia Road, there are going to be 2 right turn lanes, and the lane to my right here is going to turn into one of the 2 right turn only lanes. I park right here on this street, either right along the curb here, like right by where this car is, to right in front of me, or turn around facing the other way and park over here by where this Mitsubishi is. But because I plan to walk back to my house, and I can kind of shorten my route by parking over here and kind of cutting across the desert, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Go down the road, and then there's a cul-de-sac down here that I can use to get myself turned around and facing the other way. And basically I park over here by where you see KLLM parked right now. Then I climb this hill here and walk across the field and take a street over there to get over to my house. can't do my turn the way I want to, so I'll just come into just come down here to the cul-de-sac and do it the right way. So right here to my right's the Miracle facility. Down this way, Vin. Oh, you're going to the other, turning right into that dead end area. Okay. See, almost right there in front of me, around the 11 o'clock position is where the street is that I cut across. Normally when my wife is here and then it's just to pick me up, or when I plan to Uber, I'll park over there on Nisqually, and then now I always leave. Usually I always leave you in Nisqually, but tomorrow, I mean tonight or whatever, when I decide to leave, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, I don't know yet. Yeah, depending on the daytime, I may or and what's going on with that interchange project. With that interchange project where D Street and I-15 are, if that's not going, if there aren't any concerns to worry about there, I usually will go ahead and take Hesperia Road down, because it's easier to make the turn onto D from Hesperia than it is to make the turn onto Hesperia from D. So, but I know the northbound I-15 on-ramp has been closed recently, at least a little bit. I did hear something more about closures being planned, so it's not a way I'm gonna go right now, or when I come, when I'm in the area here. So regardless, I'm gonna definitely get on. When I start my next shift, definitely come back down Nisqually Road to I-15. So anyway, it's enough storytelling, I guess. Time. I'm parked literally right across the street from Americold in Victorville now, and it's the end of my shift. Around 3:92 since midnight, but ran 4:93 total from start to finish, so not bad. I got 43 minutes left on my clock, and it'll be down to less than 40 by the time I shut down here. Actually, about 35-ish, somewhere in the ballpark. But that's about it. May or may not do a 34-hour reset while I'm here. The load's not due until the 23rd in Edmond, Oklahoma. So trying to remember how many miles in it. Probably like 1,500 miles, whatever the hell it is. I imagine I should be able to get there in a couple of days, no problem. So even if I do a 34-hour reset here, I should still be able to get there early. So it's not due until the 23rd. Today's the 19th, so if I do a 34, then I would go back on duty tomorrow night. Basically, just do a 10-hour break and then add a day to it. That's how you figure out a 34. So if it's 8:45 local time right now, about 8:50 or so-ish, 8:55, we'll just say 9 a.m. local time when I would expect to go back on duty, to start my 10 from and go back on duty from. So 9 plus 10 is 19. So 1900 local time would be when I would plan to get moving again. Whether it be tonight at 1900 or tomorrow night at 1900, that's the other question there, though. So I get 9:47 back on my recaps tonight, and then right at 9 hours back the following night. But then I get a 411 and a 650 back the following 2 nights. So, and I don't really care for that 4 and 650 figures. It's not really much to work with, especially when I'm already driving into my recaps. So, as I call rolling into the recaps. So, I will probably favor doing a 34 here if I can, for obvious reasons too, because I'm home. But yeah, if all goes well, I'll be able to do the 34 and have no problems getting the load delivered on time. Actually, I should forget what time my appointment is on the 23rd. Double check it. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's due at 8 in the morning on the 23rd. So if it's 1900, it'd be about 2100 Oklahoma City time when I'd go on duty, and then I could factor in my my time from there. To me, it still sounds like I'd still have better part of a good 10-hour break to work with, even after getting there, before I'd have to deliver, and could possibly have a fresh clock to work with. Even if I do a 34-hour reset here first. So, kind of leaning toward that, especially knowing the way my hours, my recaps are kind of looking, and I don't know that I can really get there sooner than the 22nd anyway. So, yeah, so that's what's on my plate. That's about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the view. I have a little bit more of a mix of high speed with music versus slower speed with, or real time speed. The inputs you guys gave me, I guess, high speed in the city traffic area, whatever, I guess is a little alarming, I guess, for some of you. I imagine it's because it's going so fast, and there's sometimes traffic coming from side streets, like maybe making a right turn into the lane next to me while I'm coming up on them or whatever. And because there was one in the recent video that was like that, and it actually even had me concerned when in real time actually what the car was doing. I was keeping a really close eye on that particular car if that was one that concerned any of you guys. But as soon as I realized they were going to stay in the right lane, then I was fine. But I was covering my brake pedal at the time and ready to apply the brakes if I had to. Otherwise, it's like, if you're stupid enough to make a move in front of me, then, well, sorry, but I'm not sorry. Gene control, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be having any accidents of any kind, but I'm not gonna have any heartburn if someone forces me into one and ends up at them being at fault. Well, you're the one who put yourself in that stupid ass position, so why do I need to worry about that so much? They call me unempathetic or whatever, yeah, I guess. But man, I'm not saying I'm not empathetic, but at the same time, I'm not gonna. Why should I lose sleep over that? Someone else's mistake. But now I'm gonna do whatever I can to not cause someone else's mistake to cost them, or cost me or somebody else. But at the same time, if ultimately we're all subject to succumbing to stupid decisions. Every single one of us, we can die tomorrow from our own dumb decision. It's just the way life works, and that's more reason why I say just don't make bad decisions in the first place, and learn from mistakes, or learn from other people's mistakes. A lot of people don't care to learn from other people's mistakes. They don't want to know about any graphic details of what goes on, but I think those are important lessons to learn to make people more safe drivers though. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling on this now, so I'm gonna get going, and I gotta do my post trip and reefer check and all that, and then we'll see you guys later. All right, thanks for watching.